We are live. We are back. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Footy Abroad, streamed on 4 of your favorite YouTube channels. Actually, we're on Facebook, we're on X, we're on YouTube, where we are multi-streaming.
We're everywhere, baby. You can't get rid of us.
Yeah. You can try.
Don't try.
Don't try. Don't try.
It is Tuesday, the 31st of March, 2026. We had a few weeks off, but we are back. There were rumors, guys. I don't know if you know this. I got DMs on Big Footy this week asking me if something had happened between the 4 of us and if the show had been cancelled.
Do you know what? I got a DM. I got a DM as well on Twitter saying, "Hey, I loved everything, Footy Abroad, and did something happen?" Because and then a mate texts me, goes, "Hey, did something happen? Like you haven't said anything for 2 weeks." But now last week, I had a bit of a menti B down, and we had to. I couldn't come up, so the guys gave me a week off, which was nice. And then the week before was a bye, pretty much for everyone, or thereabouts. So we are back. We are ready. We are refreshed. None of our teams won except for mine, so it's a good week to be back.
It's all just repeating itself all over again in a number of ways, and that'll be, I'm sure, it'll be brought up when we do the rounds. So why don't we do the rounds? Pommy, how are you, mate? Hello to you.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Big shout out to everyone. You know what, as well, for those who were on the stream the other day, you'll know that I've got vested interest in Collingwood at the minute. Look, I've got the Coleman predictor patch.
Wow.
So one of 200, and so I am riding Jamie Elliott to the Coleman medal. Oh yeah.
Has Jamie? How many goals has Jamie even kicked this year?
Jamie, if you're watching, get there, bro. Get there for me. Get there for Pommy. But no, missed you all. I had a few DMs, vicious rumours as well on Saints TV that me and Jake have fallen out like Paul McCartney and John Lennon. Have to say, one of his fan base has been littering my comment section. Evidently, I am now on the 10 most wanted FBI list because I brutally bastardized Jake. So I do want to let everyone know, me and Jake are actually
come clean. Let's come clean. So let's just come clean.
It might not come across that way, but I genuinely enjoy Jake's company, and I hope Jake enjoys mine. So I can assure you, we love each other, really. However, we were going to do the show last week, just me and him. And when he found out it was just me and him, he couldn't get out of there fast enough. Evidently, his cat died, then his dog died, then his hamster died. So good to see us back. Week. I'm excited about this.
Very good. Pommy, I mean, you and I get this a bit. People always try and figure out if you and I are ever going to fall out. So it's been 7 years.
It's the most asked question, actually. Like, genuinely. And it doesn't come from where you'd think. Content creators genuinely probe me if we've ever fallen out. So it's a fascinating one. I mean, there is some money to be made there, Terry, that we stage a fallout. Do like the Sidemen, start doing diss tracks on each other. There is money to be made there.
Yeah, we are one of the longest serving marriages in the content space. So, yeah.
It was mine and Mrs. wedding anniversary last week. So our anniversary is, I think, next week, isn't it? It'd be our 6 years. So, you are, Zoe and Terry are like top 2 of relationships.
Yeah, I'll take it. I will take it. Pom, how'd your footy team go this week?
How did mine? Don't know. Was there a game on?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look, let's be honest about Carlton. It's been funny, isn't it? It's been horrible, let's be honest. I agree with Radical. Me and Terry should leave at half-time and let the real football teams finish the show because we only work for 50%. But yeah, it's hard. I mean, me and Terry actually had a discussion this week, and we did the rating show, and neither of us wanted to, but we were obliged to because we've signed up for it, which maybe would be a message to the Carlton boys. If you are signed up to do something, you do have to fulfill
do it.
your obligations. But tough, innit? Because I just did a video with Marnie, and I stupidly went through our fixtures for the next 6 weeks, and I was like, potentially we lose this weekend. We don't have another win coming till round 13 in El Shitico, us versus Essendon. So could be a long, long season.
Yeah, I'm glad we're doing this show for another season. That's for sure. Yeah. Jake, what about you, mate? How are you? How are you going? And your club, how are they going? I'm so pissed off we didn't do the show a few weeks ago because everything's changed.
Yeah.
After the Melbourne loss, yeah, that was grim. That was grim. Last week was pretty good, and yeah, this week I'm good. The boys played a pretty good team on the weekend and couldn't get the job done. There's maybe 2 or 3 or maybe 4 teams that could go with Brisbane when they play like that in that last quarter, and we are nowhere near that level just yet. I was impressed that we were in front with 10 minutes or 15 minutes to go, but our last quarters have been diabolical all season. We've fallen away in pretty much all of them. And against Brisbane, when you start the game, we started hot and you kick four points in the first 5 minutes, 1 goal 7 or 1 goal 8 in the first quarter. I just knew when it was quarter time, like, we're leading, but they haven't hit us with their best shot. And they left it late, but when they play like that, I couldn't even really look at the game and go, damn, we fucked up here, or we stuffed this, or we did that matchups wise. It was just, you just sit back and you kind of feel, well, there's nothing we can do right now. Like, they're just in that mood. They did that in the last 2 grand finals. What can you do, you know? So, yeah, they weren't at their best for a lot of the game, but I don't think it takes a team like Brisbane to play 4 quarters. They need one when they play like that. So I took a lot out of it. There was some positives still, but yeah, there's 33 points against them. I really thought we could win it going into the bye, but not to be. So last quarters is the issue. We are 0-4, I think, for last quarters now. Our first halves are one of the strongest, and our second halves are horrible. So a bit of work to be done there for the boys because we looked gassed. So it raises the question, Brisbane came off the bye. We're going into it. Did that have an effect? Not too sure, but we genuinely were standing still with not 2 minutes to go. It was 15 minutes to go. We were just done. So
I did a chat with Jeff White from First Use. I'm sure you're all aware of his work on YouTube and
he does awesome stuff.
The chat was about Carlton and Melbourne and the breakdown of what happened and what happens with Carlton, but he actually made a reference to the Brisbane St Kilda game and why Brisbane have been able to just elevate, and it's because of what he talks about with unrewarded running. They are happy, and they are happy to buy in to running hard to create space around the ground for that mark. You know, we all see Brisbane, and I mean, my perception is they're just good kicks. And that's why they're able to pinpoint passes, which is true, but they also work hard off the ball to create space for each other. And he was really pointing out that was the reason why ultimately the Lions were able to run away with it, because they were able to create more space late in game. And so, yeah, I would actually love all 3 of you to do a video with Jeff. I think it'd be very, very interesting to hear you all talk with him.
Yeah, I'd love to get his insight. Like, I've seen some of his insights with Oscar Steen stuff. But yeah, I should he's fucking good at what he does, that's for sure.
Yeah. Swoop Luke, what's the story? How you feeling? And you good? And how was your team?
Yeah, good. You know, Pies got the job done against the Giants, albeit an undermanned Giants, so 8 of their best 23 out. So you kind of go, okay, really good win. It was great. 8 of their best 23 out. You probably wouldn't wanted to score more, especially with Buckley and Sam Taylor not being there. But, you know, our forwards started to fire. You know, Member kick 4, McStay kick 2. So that was really nice. But I think the biggest story, and like Teresa just said, it was Oscar Steen. So we finally see the emergence of a young kid. Like, you know, the whole mantra or the whole story this whole preseason has been the Cliff's coming. When are Collingwood going to play the young kids? Who are the young kids? And no one's mentioning Oscar Steen. Now, I've been to obviously all the training sessions, and he's one I wanted in the team from opening round. I had him earmarked for opening round. they made him bide his time, and he came in and just absolutely just sent a rocket up. You know, when you've got a kid coming into for his first game after the first couple bounces and saying to Nick Dacos and, you know, Jordan De Goey, where do you want me to hit it? Like, fuck, that's like, he's like, aura farming, you know, absolutely insane. So it was good because Darcy Cameron can't do what Oscar Steen can do, and Oscar Steen can't do what Darcy Cameron can do. So working in tandem is really nice. And now we go up against the Lions, which, you know, on Easter Thursday in a couple of days, which is going to be absolutely huge. At least, you know, they've got the monkey off their back of winning a game. So that's that. But the Gabba is an absolute jungle. And it's going to be, if you know, with no Darcy Moore either, it's going to be a bit hard. But I'm just happy we did what we needed to do. It was just a professional win at Marvel Stadium.
Can we talk about the new Swoop Luke neon sign in the background?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's not really coming up too well on the camera, but yeah, it's really nice. I don't know how to. They've given me a remote, but it doesn't work to turn down the brightness a little bit. So I gotta hit them up. But yeah, I was sick of not sick. If Dad's watching this, I wasn't sick, but my blue Swoop Luke, the writing, I had that up there. It was nice, but I'm like, oh, blue. I don't want to be, you know, I want to have the blue. Terry's got the blue. Jake's got the red. I'm not. Can't really go white or black with Collingwood. So I went, you know, with that sort of orange gold trim. But that blue Swoop Luke neon sign that I used to have, Dad made me that for my birthday a couple of years ago. So that was really nice. So but yeah, upgraded and yeah, actually looks pretty fucking sick. So happy with that. Stoked with that.
Very cool. Yeah. My team is my team. My club is my club. I really feel like I have done a good job in understanding and being a realist with where my club is at. You know, not a contender, all these things. But I don't think it matters where you are in your development or where you are in your journey as a footy team. When you're up by 43 points and then lose, it's just wrenching to watch.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's only happened once. It literally happened just over 12 months ago. And yeah, so the Blues are the Blues. I mean, that's one of the all-time hate watches though, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Ooh, yeah, it was fucking fantastic. It was.
So it's
You know,
just another week in Carlton.
Can't sugarcoat it. But yeah, I don't know. Look, I've seen some of the content that's sort of come out from that. I mean, I wouldn't, just to be able to bounce back from that, one as a team, but two, just even for you guys as content creators, you know, I couldn't even watch the fan cams. I was like, this is going to be, you know, credit to Terry, because this is going to be wild. Like I couldn't do it. I was like, fuck, this is going to be insane. So,
I promised I would never do 4-hour fan cams again, and I broke the promise. 4 hours and 23 minutes and something seconds.
Unreal.
far out.
Credit to you, mate. Credit to you.
Pop starts watching the fan cams with no sound now. He's playing a new game with me.
Yeah, so me and Mrs. Pom play this game. We watch him on silent because Terry's face gives away his internals. And there was a cracking bit where I could see Terry. There's a moment where Terry does a face. I'm not going to reveal it. It's your job to find it. But I know his brain is like 3 years doing a degree in law. And I'm sat here listening to this shit. What am I doing with my life? And I went back and watched it. And honestly, the scene at that bit is fucking electric when you actually hear it. Some of the funniest things. But yeah, Terry, well done, mate. If you do want to count and hate watch, though, I watched Terry's review this week, and genuinely, I can say that is the lowest he has ever. I am shocked he didn't cry. Like, genuinely, the energy in that is remarkable. Like, it was like watching someone like relive a traumatic experience.
Oh my God.
I couldn't watch it. Like, it was. I couldn't turn away though. But yeah, it's getting to Terry. God bless him.
Yeah. Ben Parsons with the $5 donation. I think this might be with Luke's channel.
Yeah, my New Zealand boy.
Hello, Ben. Genuine question, but should Carlton sack Voss or is that too harsh? I went to North versus Essendon. Maybe I went to the wrong game. Should they? Don't know.
It's the age old, right?
Yeah.
Well, it should have been in 2024, but
Yeah.
I mean, the writing was on the wall. But now we're just here.
Is the North game the one though? Is that the one? If he loses that,
Nah.
is that a coach killer?
They haven't got the courage. They haven't got the
I
courage.
think it's a coach killer. I just don't think they'll sack him after a month of a season. I think if they're going to do it early, it'll be done in the mid-year bye. Otherwise, they'll wait to the end of the year. But I mean, this week will be the final time that we are favourites for a game until probably round 13. So, yeah, buckle up.
But it's not just a coach. Carlton are systematic. Carlton and Essendon are the same club. Both clubs, horrific decisions. And let's not talk about Carlton. They're absolute.
That's not what we're here for.
If you're watching players and stuff, fuckheads, sort your lives out.
Yeah. So
Sam Walsh wants 2 banners. He said, didn't he? He wants to run out through the banner twice.
Yeah. You know what I want? 2 fucking halves, Sam. 2 fucking halves. Then you'll get your banner. How's that, mate? How's that making jokes?
I'm amazed.
Take your headband off.
I'm amazed he said that.
So, you know what? I would like to start tonight.
Yeah.
Get it out of the way.
You deserve it, Terry. You deserve it.
Thanks. No, because I guess what we've spoken about, the questions come from Voss, and I just wanted to bring up a wider topic, and I think we can all relate to it in some way, shape, or form. So, the phrase or the term rebuild, it's like the forbidden word, and when you say it, it means something negative. It's got a really negative connotation for a number of different reasons. I believe every team is rebuilding, even the team that wins the flag. Every team is rebuilding. It's just a matter of what style of rebuild that is. So you've got teams like Collingwood, they rebuild every year. They do it by targeting free agency. They top up with senior guys. They haven't really hit the draft heavily of note, unless I'm forgetting, names. St Kilda, I think you're also rebuilding, but you're rebuilding like an identity, we'll call it. We're no longer going to be the St Kilda Football Club that everyone makes fun of. Like, we're going to go out and then we're going to be bold. We're rebuilding the way that we are perceived, and we're rebuilding the way that we're going about it. Carlton, I think for us supporters, when we hear rebuild, it was the marketing that was used with the phrase rebuild back in 04, 05 after the salary cap, and then we rebuilt Murphy, Gibbs, Cruiser, etc. And then 2015, the Kerno, Wiedering, Mackay draft, we're rebuilding again. We're going to do it again. We're going to strip it all back, and we're going to bottom out and go again. And so I guess it signals pain. And I guess my question is, what do you reflect on with rebuild, and why are we so fearful of the word rebuild? Because
when a club says that, it's always preempting a low, and it's basically telling fans, be okay with losing for at least 3 years. But rock up, but pay your membership. Come to the games, buy merch. Do everything you would do if we were good, but we're just not going to give you that validation at the end of the day for a number of years. So to me, it's just, maybe not anymore, but I initially see it as sort of propaganda from a club to just try and maintain sales while not rewarding the supporter base with any form of success.
It's the stigma that comes with the word, right? Like Collingwood use the word top up. We want to top up our list like Geelong and Sydney do. We don't want to rebuild. We're not bottoming out. We're topping up our list. And we might have a down year next year, but hey, we topped up our list. We got fucking Zach Butters, but we might finish bottom 10. But we're topping up. We're topping up with these players. We're topping up with these draft picks. The stigma that comes around from it. And I think, the biggest thing is one of the things that I noticed as well, after the Essendon North Melbourne game, I watched Brad Scott's press conference, and he said something to the words of like, he didn't say rebuilding, but he's like, we're building for the medium to long term. Fans should know that there is going to be short term pain. There's going to be pain. Like, they should know already. It's like, well, have you told them that? Like, what's your messaging? You know what I mean?
Why keep Merritt then? If it's short-term pain, he's not going to be there long-term anyway. So they do one. Right. The voice says one thing, and then the actions say another thing.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah. It's the same thing with Collingwood. If we were to say, hey, we're topping up, and then all of a sudden we get rid of 6 senior players, and then we're just playing all the kids. So I say, hang on a second, we're not topping up at all. That's just you've just conned us into a rebuild now. So I think like Jake, I don't even know why I'm talking, because Jake, you put it brilliantly at the start, beautifully what you said, but it is just that stigma with the word. Like I honestly can't remember the last time Collingwood said rebuild, and I know we have rebuilt, but we just haven't used that word.
Pommy, you cover all the teams with words. Like, people might say, I just want the club to come out and say we're rebuilding. Do you think clubs need to come out and say it, or do their actions make it really clear what they're doing?
For me, rebuild is an archaic word. Like, I think if you look around world of sport now, even things with drafts, good clubs don't bottom out. So I think why you don't hear that from top clubs, Luke mentioned them there, Sydney, Geelong and stuff, and people will speculate about salary cap and stuff and whatnot, but you look at how Leppich controls Collingwood. So Graham Wright undertook one of the biggest rebuilds you've ever seen, if you want to use the traditional word. But what they did is they did it properly. They kept senior players. If you're playing with someone like Pendlebury, I think Pendlebury, I listened to McRae this week, and he talks about the forward line structure and how Pendlebury had a few issues, came to him, and he took the coaching sessions for the forward half, didn't he, Swoop, this week? And that was... And I'm thinking, if you've got them type of people that are empowered, your foundations, if they're strong, you can top up. And that's what you should be. So I think teams like Essendon, Carlton, they've never addressed the fundamentals. So effectively what they've done is, the best way I could use an analogy for Carlton is they've bought a fixer-upper house for 150k. And they've gone, if we just put some paint and we just patch all the walls, don't worry about the foundations and the structure, but if we just make it look okay, that's better, isn't it? And short term, it looks better and people will rent it. And now we're renting the house, and 6 weeks in, it's leaking, but we should have fixed the roof. It's moving off its stumps. We should have reset the foundations. So that, to answer your question, Terry, I don't think you'll hear any good clubs say rebuild, ever. I think we're in a situation now with an extra club coming in, meaning that list spots now are not so much at a premium, right? They're in an area where you can probably find players that are undervalued. With good clubs, Collingwood, I did a video on this the other day about Oscar Steen, but Collingwood, their scouts spend less time at top clubs like Eastern Rangers, like Sandringham, and they're now starting to put a lot more time into Northern Knights, into clubs like Tasmanian Devils. The teams that don't get the scene, they had a massive Sandful scouting recruitment, which, if you watch my show, I'm a big sucker for Sandful boys. So you see good clubs are starting to see loopholes, and then weak clubs are doing the same thing. Who are the top 10 players? We'll build our draft strategy around them. Where if you use your brain. So I feel like that's the AFL, though. The AFL culture is wait and wait and wait until it's broken beyond repair, and then we'll address it. The Lasso rule that we've just seen now, already we've made a change on a complicated system, adding another system.
God damn, I wanted to talk about that later.
That's the AFL. And what's fascinating about the Lasso rule is it's been in the Sandful, the last touch, for about 3 years, and it is seamless. Everyone got it, and from year one, there was no issues with it. So that is the AFL. So the AFL is a product of its environment, and bad football clubs wait and wait and wait, and then we're in a rebuild. So when you hear something with like Essendon, you hear Essendon, they're scared of the rebuild word because they've not rebuilt right. Carlton are scared of the rebuild word because the rebuild word was just a distraction. And as soon as, you know that old phrase, I listened to McRae the other day, and McRae said that your destination is your goal, and on the way there is stops. And the stops must be celebrated. And I was like, that's true, but Carlton open and have an open top parade when they get to one of the stops. Where Collingwood just go, cool, step 2. Well done, boys. Come in, have a huggle. Now we're going to stage 3. Carlton have got the open top parade. They're like, woo! We played it, baby! And then they forget to go to stage 3 because they're still celebrating. So that's the difference. And poopy butthole, I agree with what you're saying there. Good teams don't bottom out. I don't think they do, though, because Geelong haven't bottomed out. They've continually topped up, put themselves in a position to be incredibly attractive to free agents. Collingwood, incredibly attractive to free agents. And there's 2 clubs we talk about that are going to bottom out, Collingwood and Geelong. So if you look at Collingwood this year, the best defensive profile in the league, a team that has actually set up its entire strategy this year around stopping quick moving ball. All the other teams have got their strategy around the ball moving quickly. Collingwood have seen before anyone else. Everyone's focused on the sexy. No one's focused on how to stop it. They've found a way to stop it before everyone else is worried about it. Will they score enough to win the flag? Maybe not. But they're already probably 2 steps ahead of anyone else in the league at stopping it. But poopy butthole, you're talking about 20 years, mate. 20 years is a long time in sport to not be a bottom team. So what I'm saying is, like, you've used an example that is old enough for me to marry now. So if your example is old enough for me to legally marry, it's not really an example, is it? Because, so what I'm saying is, nowadays in modern day sport, there is no reason for you to be rubbish. The only reason you are rubbish in sport is because you choose to be through apathy and ego. So Collingwood, well done. Geelong, well done. Hopefully one day everyone does it.
Yeah. So when I hear these terms, rebuild, I mean, I saw Koshi today get questioned about, are you rebuilding now after, their latest performances? And he said, no, it's a reboot. So reboot, refresh, retool, restructure, the whole thing. For me, it's the same. It's all under the exact same bucket. But rebuild has the negative connotation because of whatever. And it might give clubs the out. It might mean that they're being accountable and admitting that whatever they did previously failed. Carlton have just gone through this 10-year period from 2015 to the end of 2025, we'll call it, right? So we did from 2016, year 1 of it, till 2023. It took that long to get into finals. And then we were there for 2 years. And then we're seemingly about to go through this transition phase. 19 players out of contract. I don't need my club to tell me that we're rebuilding. I can see it by their decisions. We didn't go for Houston. We went for the draft. We got Jagger Smith in. We trade Charlie Curnow, get the best deal that we can moving forward, get the draft capital, make sure that we can go and get Jagger, Harry Dean, Cody Walker. I can see it with the actions. I don't need to be told we're rebuilding. I can see it. If anything, in this point in time, the only person at this point that I can recall who's actually said, yeah, I got it wrong, was ironically the senior coach, who seems to be on this bed where it's like writing's on the wall now, because this is how the game works. Team's going to lose a certain amount of games, and the coach, we've sort of changed the assistant coaches, and the head coach will naturally be the next to go in typical fashion, particularly at Carlton. So it's interesting. And I think we've spoken about it on this show. The most dangerous place to be is in that middle rung. You either want to be sort of at the top end or the bottom end. We're in the bottom end. You're stockpiling your talent, and up you go. And I think we've also had this conversation. Is it better to build your team and get better by going to the draft, or going via free agency at trades? So that might be another topic for another day, but I am mindful of time. But yeah, actions speak louder than words, I say.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Luke.
Yeah. Cool. So let me get because I've got a number here that I want to talk about as well. So my topic that I'm bringing to the table today, all right, here we go, is about not so much about the grand final being locked in for 2:30 for the next 2 years, and we're not going to be. My topic's not, do you like the 2:30 or do you want it at nighttime? Like, it's not going to be about that. What it is about is now the media narrative has changed from the media sort of saying, keep it at 2:30. We want it at 2:30 because it's tradition, blah, blah, blah. To now the AFL saying, hey, we heard you. We've heard the fans, 80% want 2:30. We'll leave it at 2:30 for the next 2 years, locked it in. And as soon as it's been locked in, Jared Waitley and Gary Lyon jump on AFL 360 and they're like, oh, but now if we're locked in for 2 years at 2:30, what about the NRL? They beat us in the television battle last season, and what if they beat us for the next 2 years? Is it going to, the AFL will be sitting on their hands and saying to themselves, oh, we messed up and stuff like this. So I'll tell you about the viewers and the reach for the NRL grand final and the AFL grand final last year, right? So the Cats Lions grand final last year had 4.18 million viewers, 6.4 million reach, and I don't know what that reach is, but the NRL grand final, Broncos Storm, which was a good game, I'll watch that one, was 4.46 million and 6.4 million reach, right? So we're talking about 300,000 screens, but the NRL grand final was played a week after the AFL grand final. So there was nothing to watch anyway, right? So these numbers already are fluffed, are cooked. I can say, oh yeah, and I went and got a salad from Subway today because that's what I got. Not everyone else not knowing that I only got a salad from Subway because the dumpling shop right next door to it burnt down in a fire and I was going to get dumplings. You know what I mean? Like, it's not because I wanted the salad. It's because there was nothing else to bloody eat. I think my main thing is is the media just too quick to just jump on? Is there even any fight between the NRL and the AFL? Are we just too quick to jump on a narrative?
I don't even think we should be. I think it's cringe when I go on Insta and I see this giant post from the AFL saying locked in 2:30 for another year. I'm like, cool. Like, we know that's going to happen. Like, just don't announce it. I don't give a shit what time it is. You're going to fill, it's going to be 100,000 anyway. It's the two best teams in the comp and you're going to get plenty of viewers anyway. So I don't get this weird obsession with what the other codes are doing. Just do what's right for the fans. And to me, it's just over the top. We must be the only sport in the world that announces across all social media what time a game is being played.
And that's what I wanted to sort of, hark on about as well. Like, shouldn't the stakeholders, and I know it's not, but shouldn't the stakeholders be the fans? Like, why are we catering to the 300,000 that are watching the NRL? I was one of them that watched the NRL because it was a week after the football.
Is it the same this year, the dates? Like, do you know what the NRL grand final date is?
I don't know.
Because that'd be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, all we know is that there's a 2:30 grand final this year and next year.
Yeah.
Huge.
Well, yeah, so the NRL grand final is a week after, October 4.
So it doesn't matter.
No, at the end, it's kind of like the opening round, right? We did it because the NRL were going to Las Vegas and we played it when the NRL was down here. Why do we do this to ourselves for?
Australia.
Do you think that there is a, and Peter V'landys and stuff always come out and be like, oh, we're beating the NFL. Like, does anyone really care besides Andrew Dillon and Peter?
Well, I think this is just corporate. They need something to hook into to justify their existence and among many other things. Like, it's all one big corporate game once you get to the top here. And so for Andrew Dillon, I mean, he has to prove that, we look at what they were giving us last year. Oh yeah, well, attendances are at an all-time high. The game's growing. We're doing really well. They need data points to justify their existence. And so this year, and maybe for the next few years, it's going to be about, we're beating the NRL. The TV deal, that's going to be a massive thing when that next one comes up and what happens there. But yeah, more or less, I think the whole tit for tat, that's everywhere. That's everywhere in corporate. That's everywhere in workplaces. That's everywhere. And it's, mainstream media journos will potshot each other. That's part of it. It's all one-upsmanship. Yeah.
Pom, how do you see it with, like, obviously growing up in England and the soccer landscape and stuff, and you've got the cricket and you've got, the rugby there as well, and you've got, everything in between.
The AFL really frustrates me because I think we have such a wonderful product, and like in my time in this country, I've noticed we've got a real hunger to be someone we're not. Like we've already got a great game. I mean, this is probably the only sport I've ever heard as well have huge people, huge voices try and influence the AFL on. Do you remember the whole Thursday gate and the big complaints because families were saying, "Oh, I can't take my kid to that game." And then I always think, can you imagine telling Real Madrid, "Oh, playing Champions League games 7 o'clock on a Wednesday evening is a bit of an inconvenience because little Pedro and little Sangrita, I can't take them to the Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich game. Do it on a Saturday at 3 so my kids can go to school." Like, no one cares. It's a business. But I agree with you, Swoop. I mean, I think tradition for me is a very dangerous word because I think that means that I always think tradition is just used as an excuse. So we never adapt and never improve. I think a twilight game at the AFL for a spectacle is a wonderful idea and probably something worth pursuing, in my opinion. I know people will say, but we haven't done it before. Let's try it. We can always go back to the traditional time shot. Let's try it once or twice. Let's see what it's like. But I do really fear we overtinker with the game, and it's almost like we try and fabricate and script it like it's wrestling to an extent. But the wonderful thing about AFL, when you compare it to soccer, when you compare it to NRL, which are beautiful games and games that I love very much, is it's so weird. It's so unique. It's so imperfect that it's kind of the last bastion of how sport should be. Mano a mano, two people going at it with an egg-shaped ball that could go anywhere. That's what's beautiful about AFL. And I do fear that 5 to 10 years' time, we're going to lose the very essence of what this game is about. And we don't need investment from overseas. We don't need American TV deals. They'd be nice, but be careful what you wish for because you might have the very fabric of your game ripped away. And before you know it, why people love it will die. So be very careful. But I agree with Terry. Unfortunately, AFL clubs are run like the AFL. These are a penis extension for miserable middle-aged men. And that's what it is. And unfortunately, that's how our sport is run. Dylan doesn't care about football. He cares about being more liked than Gil. That's what it is. His entire energy is they will talk. I reckon Dylan at the AFL house, if you mention Gil, he goes mental. Like some poor intern will be like, "Oh, but Gil used to like us to have coffees at 10 o'clock." And he's like, "I'm not Gil. Ban coffees. Everyone drinks orange juice. You mention his name again." Like, it's that he's trying to what it is. And at the end of the day, you are right. The fan base, for this game to work, the fans have to be invested. And it has to be Australians. It has to be almost xenophobic in the way it's run. Fuck India, fuck Asia, fuck Europe, fuck America. It's our game for our people, and you have to honor it if you want to be a part of it. You can't change it because it's like this elsewhere. And I worry about the AFL. I feel like one day we're going to see a product that we don't recognize, and I think we're getting very close.
I would say there are a lot of people watching this show right now who are already there, who have already gotten to that 100%. Realization. Yeah. If you watch the game in the 80s and you watch the game today, more or less, you kick 6 points for a goal, 1 point for a behind. But yeah, I hear it all the time in my comments. It's just a completely different game.
Yeah.
So, okay. Very good. Jake.
Alrighty. We're going to bring back Who Would You Rather Be, boys. And it's a big one this week. Carlton have played one of these teams and they're about to play the other. So I think it's going to be a very interesting discussion. They've both got 2 wins out of 3. Probably surprisingly. Who would you rather be? Melbourne or North Melbourne?
Like coaching? Who would you rather coach at this point?
Yeah, who would you rather coach? Who would you be more comfortable being a supporter of right now? Give me your thoughts. And in the comments as well, put it as a poll, Melbourne or North Melbourne, because I think both have got some youngsters. North are probably the one team that over the years has more announced that rebuild, and Melbourne are sort of, I guess, have done it that quiet way where it's more actions, getting rid of Oliver, Petrarca, getting Steele, and getting some drafting some really good players as well, and then obviously sacking the coach and then bringing in King and doing a really good job early, and new brand of football that's pretty exciting. So, I think this will be an interesting discussion.
Who would you rather be?
Off the bat, I'll go first. Melbourne. I think Melbourne, yes, they have lost a bunch of, they're good players and stuff. But their messaging to the fans and to the AFL with what they've been able to produce this year, North have been trying to do that for years, right? And I watched the North Essendon game over the weekend, and I tweeted about it. I thought that was the most insanely poor, skilled game that I have seen. I've seen local football be more skilled than that game, and I think it's got to do with mentality. Maybe it's because I live in a house full of psychologists, but I think it's got to do with mentality. That unfortunately, North and Essendon just don't have that, and Melbourne have at one point they were like, we've lost Clayton, we've lost Petrarca, we've done this, we've done that. We're going to be fried this year. And even I said there that we're going to be bottom 4, right? And they still might be. It's still early in the season. But their mentality to shift it around and to flip it in games is something that we haven't seen from North. They've got that winning mentality, Melbourne, now. And I just don't think North have that edge, and they haven't. And they're going to keep rebuilding, unfortunately, until who knows until when, because they just, and I know they've won recently, but they just haven't got it in my opinion. So yeah, I guess long story short, I'd rather be coaching the Demons I just, mate, and why wouldn't you? They're just a fantastic looking team at the moment.
Fair. Boys?
Gotta be the Kangas on it. Gotta be the Kangas.
Hey, here we go.
A little bit of history. They've had some great names go through there. You've got the about to be former Boomer record games holder, Wayne Carey, some big names gone through North Melbourne. And you know what? There's something about, and this is no detriment to the Demons, but I think if I was a coach, the fan base at North is very vibrant, isn't it? It gets around its club. It's got like Melbourne fans outside of Caden McDonald with his guitar singing soppy covers. I couldn't pick a D's fan, to be honest. And that's no pot shot at Kados. It's just me. But genuinely, I just think North, I look at their list, a lot of players that I'd love to coach. I know they've got Cozzy at Melbourne, but I also think North is good. I think North is good. He's on the turn.
And you're not just saying this because Carlton play them this weekend, just to be clear.
No, genuinely not.
And that you just did a video with Kanga TV. You didn't.
With Mans, she's one of my favourites. But no, look, I said at the start of the year, I thought one of the teams out of the bottom 4 would get into the top 10. And North were my illusion. I was like, I think North are them. I think they'll turn. So, yeah, I credit, though, to Melbourne. I think what Melbourne are doing is fantastic. And Melbourne remind me a bit like your Magpies. They got rid of all the old stars. They went hard. And they changed their game style overnight with McRae. You can see what they're building. They'll be back in the top 10 very quickly. But, yeah, just something about North for me. I do like them.
Yeah. So, my answer is Melbourne. And the only marginal reason I can give for that is because I am seeing a footy club that has owned who they are and what they are. And they've taken away the ability from anyone external to call them skiers who go and drink wine and the cheese boards. I mean, maybe it's just a perception that I'm getting now because their media team is nailing it. But I think there's something in that. When your media team nails it, and the messaging is just so on point, you remove the ability to be affected by any negative talk about who you are or what you are. So I think they've identified what they are. They've identified what they need. I think the Jack Steele acquisition is so underrated for them.
Yeah,
I really do think it just gives them I mean, Max Gawn's a generational talent. So obviously when he retires, that's going to be a big hole to fill. I think they are more in tune with what they are. And I think because they were able to get over the hump and win the premiership after, being where they were as a footy club, I think it lingers. I see a similar trait to Richmond. They've had dynasty success. And I think as a football club, they were able to figure it out. And now they're getting a lot of credit for what they've done with their list and their build and the way that they talk and the way that they're going about it. And it all remains to be seen. North, similar to Carlton, they got all the top talent, young talent. The question is, will they be able to get over the hump, which is when you bottom out, which is something that teams like Carlton have just not been able to do. I think maybe St Kilda so far haven't been able to do yet. So North, I'm wary of them. I think they'll beat teams with talent before we know it. I think I'll give the edge to the D's.
Yeah, no, I'm on the D's train. If I was a fan, I would want to be the Demon supporter right now, especially because they've gone with a new coach and a fresh approach, and I like that. When a footy club just takes that risk, obviously it's not always going to pay off, but early days it looks like it is. And then obviously North have gone with the tried and true sort of coaching approach and hasn't quite paid off yet. But it's going to be interesting. They haven't played each other yet.
I think they needed it.
Yeah, absolutely. In their time.
Yeah. But then the question is Clarko their premiership coach, or is he just going to be there to help set them up until the next coach is there?
I personally think he's the one that's there to set him up. Like for me, I almost see Ross in a very similar way. I think Corey Enright might be our premiership coach. I don't think necessarily Ross might be, although it would be a good story. I just think there's certain coaches. I think I'm saying he's only contract until end of next year. So I'm just saying if he doesn't continue and there's a handover with Corey Enright, I think we want to be competing in that time by 2027. But if he doesn't want to go on and Corey Enright, he's got a lot of control as it is, he might well be the coach, but remains to be seen.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I
like it. Who would you rather be?
Hey, boys, before we get into Pommy's thing, be right back. Just give me 1 sec. Talk amongst yourselves.
Costume change.
Everyone just...
Can I just say, he made that more obvious and more awkward than it needed to be, didn't he?
Yeah. Just ditch the camera and leave. Don't even say a word.
Gee, how professional.
He's taking a piss.
Do we do ladder predictor while he's gone?
We can do ladder predictor while he's gone.
Just while he's gone, or even just the tips for. Yeah, let's just do the tips for this week.
All right,
some interesting games.
Why are you such a sadist?
Fucking hell, Jake.
I've got 2 games this week where I think I'm just going to go. Hopefully against the trend, get some tips in.
It was like the Brady Bunch, wasn't it? It was a bit of the Brady Bunch going on. Well done. Hey, that's a blast from the past.
The Brady Bunch. All right.
Has Terry forgotten how to do a ladder predictor, which I don't believe. I reckon
he hasn't looked
Allen's way to the 10.
No, I had to go and just set it all up. I don't like having the odds there, Like I'm anti odds.
It's influencing. All right. That's a rip.
Okay. We can start here.
Brizzy.
Is it just Brisbane? Oh, here he is.
Ooh, sorry, I drank so much water.
I think my cloggage is back.
McCluggage is back, yeah.
Yeah, but I think obviously Gardner might miss, maybe, based on that
Gardner
shoulder
and
Ainsworth concussion.
Andrews isn't in, so they're pretty skinny down back.
Are you sure Cluggage is back? Because reading the Brisbane report here,
what do they say?
It says weak still.
Yeah, I think he was.
Is that this week?
Now.
Oh.
I reckon that's
I think
that was updated today from our injury report for the 31st of March 2026.
Maybe the Thursday game's a bit too soon. Maybe if it was a Saturday night, I don't know, or they're just bullshitting, and he'll do a test.
I'm going Collingwood. No Harris Andrews. No Darcy Gardner. Darcy Moore out. Who cares? Oscar Steen masterclass. 3 Brownlow votes. Nick Dacos.
All right, let's just go to the next game.
Okay. Well, Pommy and I will tip Carlton. I think.
We?
I think
Don't speak for Pom, mate. Don't speak for Pom. Let him speak for himself. He's a big boy.
Sorry.
Thank you, Jake. Yeah,
All right.
look,
We're friends.
I mean,
We're friends.
we need all the positive vibes as we can, Carlton.
Yeah.
So they can't lose this week. They can't.
I swear. To be
I
fair,
know
I
I
reckon
can.
every time we,
I
I
can.
reckon the last 2 years, every time we get to this game, it's maybe not this dire, but it's a similar situation, and then Carlton smash North.
Smash them. Yeah.
So
no Sherry as
genuinely
well.
smash.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
help.
But that's with
It's
like Kerno kicking 10, which you don't have right now.
Yeah, but we're in Harry's house. It's Marvel.
That's true.
yeah, I can't see Carlton losing this one.
Oh no!
I'm tipping North.
Oh!
I'm tipping North.
This has a huge Carlton win all over it.
North by 10.
That makes me feel better that Jake is still saying true to the facts. Wow. Well, Swoop there with a big grin is like, oh, Carlton by 60 points, man.
Yeah.
You know what that means when he does that.
Yeah, I do. It means he's going to be.
He means
hate
North by
watching
30.
this.
Yeah.
They can't. They just can't. They can't do it.
Oh,
they can.
stop saying they can't. You can't possibly lose a game when you're 40 up. But we can.
Now, I just think that Sherry out is just too big of a stone.
Oh,
Stepping
stop it.
too big of a
Stop
thing.
it.
All right, well, just click Carlton because it's 3 against 1 here apparently. So just click Carlton. All right.
Well, Pom's done a good job of not shitting on Callum Coleman Jones because last time he did that was Peter Laddams and he turned into Grundy for a day. So
Yeah.
I even gave Good a freaking pep up as well this week. So just in case they bring Taylor Good in, I've thought about it, you see.
hey, Teresa's pulling
Let's,
us up on something. Why
we
are we not
didn't-
tipping Collingwood?
I mean, I
We
was
did
tipping
two-
Brizzy, but
Teresa, I tipped Collingwood and said
Wait,
oh, yeah.
it's 3 on 1 again.
That's 3 against 1.
Yeah, so it's pies. But I'm tipping Brizzy.
Oh, it's pies.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm tipping
Jeez,
Brisbane
Collingwood
as
and
well.
Carlton being tipped this
Oh,
week.
two
so
and
it's a draw.
But then, yeah, just go with the home team, I think, you know.
All right,
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh. All right, Adelaide Fremantle.
Where is it? Adelaide Oval. Ooh.
Adelaide Oval.
Adelaide,
I think at
just.
home is nice. But
Hmm.
Fremantle have been looking good. Nah, I'm going Fremantle here.
Jeez.
I want to say that I feel like the Crows that there's something just off with them.
Mm.
I didn't see the update today on Jordan Dawson. I don't know if he's going to be available. I didn't see it. I saw that they made an update, but I didn't click it. Freo.
Dawson's a test, Terry.
Dawson's
He'll
a
play.
test.
He'll
I
play.
don't think you can knock Fremantle. Like Fremantle,
Yeah.
I believe. I
Flag
believe
man.
in Freo.
I'm with you. Fremantle.
Damn.
Fremantle are the real deal now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a believer. So is that 3 of us?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
This one.
Okay.
This is the
Ooh.
one. I'm going Richmond
Richmond,
win of the
Port
season.
Adelaide.
at the G. Good
Sam
time
Lalore
for it.
masterclass, free Brownlow
Yeah.
votes, coming of age game. We'll see how many times
100%.
Brayshaw says he's basically Dustin Martin 2.0, probably about 104 times is the over-unders. So Richmond.
Yeah, I've got Richmond as well here.
We'll see Koshy. Will Koshy use the word rebuild after this game if Richmond win?
Yeah, nah. He'll just say,
Nah, he's
Replenish.
been red-pilled as Kochi. He'll be saying it's the lizard people in the AFL house.
West Coast.
Ooh.
We have not given West Coast love on this show ever.
no.
Ever.
Wow,
What?
this season, 2 wins back to back,
Mm-hmm.
incredible,
at
and
home.
they look good as well.
Yeah. Shout out West
Mm.
Coast.
Shout out West Coast.
I will be tipping Sydney though.
Yeah.
100% Sydney.
But this will be an
1,000%.
interesting watch.
But
Interesting.
You know
shout out
what?
to West
It-
Coast.
I'm actually tipping West Coast in this, but we'll go with the majority. I
Yeah.
think there's something there in the West Coast. Bit of belief, bit of tail wag.
Wow. See, this for me is like Kerno, tail up, 6 goals,
Yeah.
loves feasting on the Eagles.
I think they've bookmarked the 4, but I think Eagles will surprise. I think Eagles will push them all the way, and I believe the fans are behind them. It's at the Optus, isn't it?
Yep.
Them Eagles fans are mental.
They are mental. They are. They're amazing. Okay.
Swans just.
Oh,
That's
the
gonna be a lot
Eagles.
closer.
All right. Gosh, the D's and the Suns at the MCG. Keep in mind, the Tigers were able to really stifle the Suns at the MCG a few weeks back before Lynch got hurt and changed the course of the game. So do we think the D's can do anything here?
Oh, man, nah.
No, not just yet.
No. I don't have the guts.
Suns
to
by
tip them.
85.
The Suns.
Isn't
did
Raul
too
a
good.
test for the Suns as well?
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, even if they don't have him,
They're still
Suns.
insane. Yeah.
Marvel,
Okay.
Western Bulldogs, Essendon.
I mean,
Mate, if the Doggies don't
got
win this by
to be-
120 points,
if Darcy doesn't outscore Essendon in this game, I think they should give the points to Essendon. That's what I think. And I got a lot of shit in the preseason for saying Bombers wouldn't spoon, by the way. So I'm just jumping
Really?
on that.
Oh.
Yep.
did you say
Got a
Bombers
lot,
wouldn't
lot of
spoon?
yeah, in the preseason.
Jake's about
predictions
2 weeks away from posting a picture of himself, self-quoting himself. Wild
I don't-
behaviour from Jake Bertoni.
I get a lot of predictions wrong, so I'm pretty happy with this one, Tom. Let me have the moment.
Miko Baggers in the chat just said Essendon if Dogs turn up to the wrong game.
The way, to be fair, the way Essendon are playing, there's a chance that the fans beat
Let's
Essendon.
lose that as well.
Put doggy shirts on.
Sorry to
Can
all the
I-
Essendon supporters out there.
Can I give a shout out to an Essendon content creator? I mean, Bomber Banter, we love Fiona.
Yep.
You guys watch Herbertron?
Yeah.
Oh, Herb. Yeah.
I've gotten to the point that when Herb premieres a video, I'm in the chat watching the premiere. That's how hooked in
Yeah.
I am now.
Love
It's
that.
must watch content. Must watch.
They're good. They're good.
His
at what
last
they do.
video, absolutely elite, by the way. You know what? He's a really good guy as well because he's
He is.
stitched me and Terry up a few times as well. And he's one of the few content creators that reaches out to you and lets you know you're about to be put on blast,
Yeah, no.
which is always nice.
So Pom came on the fan cams after the Bombers beat us 2023 and he started singing It's Only Just Begun. And then he proceeded to make the video with the song. It was
Absolute A grade. A grade.
yeah, shout out to Herbertron. Much love. Much love. All right, and then Easter Monday, Hawthorn Geelong. Don't know.
God, can they both bloody lose?
Is it controversial? I think Cats are just going to shut the Hawks up.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
My
I want
gut says Cats.
Geelong to win. Yeah.
I'd never go that far. But yeah, I just think the Cats win this for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
I'm tipping Hawthorn for no reason other I just don't know. I don't have a read on the game. The Cats did find their grit, I think, in their last game. They were pushed and they found it. So yeah. Luke, who are you tipping?
Geelong.
Okay. Fine. So that's what we could be.
What does that do to that? Okay, look at that. Fucking hell. The Eagles are bombers. I chose this team out of 18 teams. I had no loyalty. What a fucking idiot.
I can't do it. All right. Pommy, have you got a topic?
Can I retract my citizenship so I can get deported? What can I do? If I stole from Coles. Right. My question is actually something a bit different this week. So, because I support a shit team and because the lovely Fiona at Bombers Banter has roped me into doing the reviews of their games, which is nice as well. So it means I get to watch two shit teams in depth for 4 hours a week. Just so you know, 12 hours this week I spent watching replays of Carlton or Essendon.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm still smiling. Tell you what, I am
say.
the Joker origin story. But what I have noticed is because I watch a lot of press conferences, I want to give a shout out to Mitch Cleary here because he's the only journalist this week that has asked an arsehole question to a coach and then proceeded to write a negative article about them. But my big question here is, do you not think that we have like a European media that is quick to lambast and sack coaches, to criticize them, but then when they sit there and have the press conferences, they're more inclined to ask questions like, who was your favorite member of Paramore? But then write an article. So what I mean by that is you go and watch Brad Scott's one, they are asking him questions that are incredibly irrelevant, but all of them have wrote articles saying the game's gone past him, he's lost the troops, they haven't got a clue. You've got Caroline Wilson, who always says she's spoken to someone at the club, but she never asked these questions directly. So do you think there should be a little bit more onus in this league of serious questions and a bit of accountability from the journalists of you're there and asking them? I would love us to be in a situation where if you watch Ruben Amorim's last press conference, there was a journalist in there who asked him the question, you are the head coach of Manchester United, and Amorim clapped back. He goes, I'm the manager of Manchester United. And then he read the Man United website where it says, you are the head coach. And there's a bit of back and forth. And he's like, your position is untenable. Are you going to resign, Ruben? And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm going to stay here. I'm the manager of this club. And then 2 hours later, we sacked him. Wouldn't you love to see a little bit of, one, the journalists being empowered? Because when Tom Morris did it, Luke Beveridge got him thrown out of the press conference. But two, being forced to do this, because I find it disingenuous when I hear all these journalists ask them stupid questions and nonsense questions. Then 2 days later, they're in Code Sports or Herald Sun writing what I would say disgusting pieces with subject matter that they could have actually asked the coach there and then and got the direct answer.
Yeah. Last week, just to jump in, last week, in the 8-minute presser for Ross, 7 minutes was about Fagan, and then 1 minute was about the game. And the last question of the press conference, was a bloke that goes, given all the things that have happened in the last couple of months with St Kilda and Brisbane, do you think you're going to call Fagan, before the game? That was the question to Ross. And Ross goes, why would I call the opposition coach? And then the journo's like, I don't know. And then he went to say something, and Ross is like, well, if you don't know the answer, then I don't know the answer. Thanks very much. And then walked off, and that was the presser. Like, they're asking questions they don't even know the answers to.
Can I just say, his press conference about Tony Cochrane?
Oh, that was good.
Oh, well, he's like, who?
I don't answer to supporters. Oh, he's a supporter.
He was
what was it? He's
he said it. Who?
When they said he was former chairman of Gold Coast or whatever, it's like, oh, former. So he's not in the game
second
anymore.
best thing I've seen from a coach. Then there's a very famous Twitter journalist who was boasting about getting to ask Michael Voss a question. And his question was, after being rejected by Carlton once, was there any doubt of you applying for this job? And all Michael Voss does is, no. And that was it. But he built it up for days that he got invited on. Second best moment. But no, Terry, do you feel like, because obviously you do this for a living, as does Jake and Swoop, do you not feel like it's disingenuous, though, that you can, because one of the articles this week was Brad Scott, and the guy was in the press conference. His question was about the fitness of Ridley, but his article was about how how Brad Scott has no clue, makes no changes. And I'm like, you never asked him these questions. You were talking about Ridley, but now you are pretending you know the answer when you could have said, Brad, this is the data. How do you answer it? And giving him a chance to reply.
Yeah. So we live in a very warped game within the game within the game. This is all like an illusion of a elite sporting code, when in reality, everyone knows everyone. They don't want to get on, like they protect certain people that they like in the industry. They're mates behind closed doors. The media industry is actually a pack of snakes behind each other's backs. They're actually fucking germs. A lot of these journos. I still don't quite understand why mainstream media journalists wear suits on TV. Like, you're a journalist. Why are you wearing a suit with a tie? And the time will come where we get in. It's going to come, because we are not tied to anybody but ourselves. So so there's that element of what I'm talking about. And then there's this other element of, I can only talk about the Carlton press conferences, right? So I sit here on the team show every week and we watch the Vossi presser. And now we've started watching the opposition coach's presser. When we played Richmond, what was the question? Fuck. When we played Richmond, so Adam Uze was asked a question that was extremely relevant to Carlton, which Michael Voss was not asked. I can't believe I don't know what it was. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is the questions are awful. They're only trying to get an article to get eyeballs on there. The shake-up's coming. It's only a matter of time. And some actual journalistic integrity is on the way, because it's not there right now. These people who are posturing as professionals on the inside, their days are numbered. And I'm very, very excited for that day to come when we get to ask the questions that our fan bases actually want to know, because it doesn't benefit us as individuals. It benefits our actual fan bases, which is actually good content. And so, long-winded answer. They're all mates on the inside, but they're actually not really all mates, because they're all trying to get each other's titles. They're all beholden to the fact that they're employees and they have no independence. And that's just the way it goes. And that's the industry that's been created. And it's going to change. And I'm very excited.
Yeah, and you've said it perfectly, Terry. I think the biggest thing for me is that these journos and stuff, when they are asking questions post game, or during the presser today, Collingwood's presser, it's after training, main training's done, with Darcy Moore's out, Scott Pendlebury's out. There was 2 or 3 questions about Bobby Hill. Like, I understand, right? He's big, but he's not going to play against the Lions on Thursday. Hey, Fly, I know that he's not going to give away tactics, but it's like, hey, why don't we ask him questions about, are you bringing in someone to sort of spread the defense of the smaller defenders of Brisbane? Or, a big one for me was in the prelim against the Lions. No one asked him about, why was Myercheck on one leg? Why did you play him? Where was the selection integrity in playing Brody Myercheck in the second biggest game of the season? Arguably, almost bigger than a grand final, because you need to win that to get into the grand final. You lose that, you don't get a chance, right? And the journos, and then they've only got like 8, 9, 10 minutes. And sometimes the one that I go to is the Dan Gorringe one with Michael Voss. You did a whole video about it, Terry. Voss was asked 3 or 4 times about Gorringe's the video, or the recording that came out. It's just a waste of fans' time. And you're right. Like, there's going to be a time where we, not, it could be us, but it could be fans just in general, here to ask questions that we want to hear. Why wasn't this guy picked when this guy has been playing in the VFL so much? Not, hey, what did you think of, Naz getting tagged or taking, or doing this or doing that? Like, ask me why he's taking 4 kick-ins and not deep in the midfield. Give us questions of substance.
It's like,
one thing I want to shout out the Saints for. Sorry to cut you off, Jake.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
Your pre-game presser last week, your media team put subtitles on the journalists' questions.
Yeah, they've done that all year now, which is good. So it makes the job a lot easier.
Yep, I saw it. I'm like, wow. I wrote it down. I'm like, cool, great solution. If we can't hear the questions, I understand, because the microphones they're owned by different people. But you're the fan who watches your coach's press conference. You need to know what the question is. Subtitles. So well done.
Yeah, the Scott question they asked after the loss on the weekend, he just talked for like 5 minutes about how it's not like short-term pain, then medium and long-term gain, which was pretty explicit. And then a journo asked him, okay, so what year do you think you'll be good again? Basically is what he asked him. So it's like, he's not gonna come out and go 2027. 2028. He's not gonna do that. He's just talked about it's a medium to long term. That's the answer there. And then you've gone, well, give me a year. Give me the year that you're going to be good. He's not going to. And the journo prefaced it by saying, look, I know you're probably not going to give me the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. And then he got nothing.
Can I give you my theory? And I want to give a shout out to Halsey. I've noticed a pattern, right? And I think he's right. I think there is a sound clip society in the journalists. So I don't think it's apathy or asking. I think they know what they're doing. So there's a certain pattern I've noticed. I'd love Swoop's opinion on this, but that and Terry's and Jake's, because all three of you have a pattern at your club. So I've noticed they kind of feed McRae questions that play into the male stereotype. That the reference that McRae is a lover. He's more in like he's into his crystals. He's into the wishy-washy stuff. Everything that's really anti-masculine football, isn't he? He's a very philosophical man, and they almost disrespect McRae, I find, of not asking him football questions, but asking him more wishy-washy questions. With Jake's, it annoys me because Ross is a football genius, but they spend more time trying to get funny quotes out of him or pushing his buttons so he's grumpy. And then with Michael Voss, he falls into the Brad Scott. Because he was a famous player and a player for a club that evidently, for some reason, we all envy Lee Matthews like he's Christ himself. We're genuinely scared of maybe asking them question, did you get fucking lucky that Lee Matthews was a genius? And did we get lucky that they've somehow gifted you a career to completely spunk up? That does it. And then listen to Fagan. It was fascinating. Round 2, Fagan was asked a question about, I think it was one side in 150 years has gone 0-3 after winning a flag. Is he worried that Brisbane have lost their mojo, lost their edge, and potentially with new clubs coming in, maybe lost their place in the top 8? And I was like, you would never fucking ask that. But the reason you've asked that is because Fagan never played the game at elite level. You still disrespect Fagan as an outsider because he's not Michael Voss. But the truth is, Michael Voss, Fagan should be offended of getting someone of Michael Voss's caliber to clean his toilet. But the journalists treat Voss like he's a god. They treat Ross like he's a clown and McRae like he's effeminate and Voss like he's a god. But have you noticed all the journalists seem to do this? There's like a respect hierarchy level. And I find it quite disingenuous and disgusting because I'm 40 years old. I want the information. I don't want sound bites. I'll leave that to small-minded children.
There's an episode of How I Met Your Mother. It's got something to do with, can't remember what it's called, but pretty much the premise of it is it's glass shattering. So you might be on, you might be loving this TV show or whatever it may be, and then someone says, "Oh, that lead actor in that TV show killed someone," and then the glass shatters in your brain. You're like, "Oh, I can't watch this anymore." Like that's insane. Pom, what you just said there shattered the glass in my brain because that is so true. Look, I don't have a good memory in general, but going through what I can in my archives, going through like the files of all the McRae presses, you're 100% right. He does get, I won't say softball questions, but you're right. He does get those questions like, how do you wrap your arms around this guy? How do you wrap your arms around? I don't watch a lot of other presses, but I have watched a couple of others from other coaches. They don't get those sort of questions. So Pom, you're 100% right there. I don't know. Like that's an insane pick, man. That's an insane set of ears and eyes you have on you.
It probably comes from the fact that I don't respect anyone for anything they did 5 years ago. If you haven't achieved it repeatedly, it's a fluke in my opinion. But it annoys me that Fagan, like another example I'll give you, the question Mitch Cleary asked, he pissed me off because he didn't fire back. But when he asked him, You keep saying we need a circuit breaker. He makes the joke, oh, we had 17 days off. You don't get that very often. And he was like, no, but the fans will want to know, when will this turn? And he goes, we've got a game in 5 days. He didn't answer it. I was like, if that was Fagan, they would have said, no, we want an answer. We know you've got a game in 5 days, but Chris, when will the Brisbane fans see the result that you are saying they're going to see? When? They don't ask Voss that because they're like, oh, Michael Voss, the prodigal son of Lee Matthews. And it really annoys me because Voss isn't someone you respect. You respect him on a human level, but as a coach, he's the worst coach in the league, so he should be treated as such until he proves he's not. So it annoys me because I feel like some of them get a free ride. I feel like McRae is disrespected that he could talk about football. He doesn't have to talk about hand-holding. Like, I heard the Bobby Hill questions today. It's kind of disingenuous. Like, they were kind of making out they wanted to hear if he was okay, but genuinely they were hoping McRae would slip and go, oh, his wife's left him, so I'm giving him a cuddle here and there. Where it should have been sport questions. And with Jake's team, it fucks me off because they're just trying to wind him up instead of asking structured football questions. He's a genius. Like, stop getting the soundbite. So, yeah, it's something that's a bugbear of mine. AFL, give me a media pass. I'm not scared of these fuckers. Slap them all. Slap them all, one after another.
Beauty.
Well, it's good to be back.
Very good to be back.
Very good to be back.
Yeah,
Hate that
was
we've
fun.
got the bye this week. Hate that we've got the bye this week.
So do I.
I wish we had the bye again, Jake. I like the bye, mate. I was chilled out.
Yeah,
The bye
I'm
and
very
then 2
happy.
weeks in
Very
Adelaide.
happy to not be playing on a Sunday.
Mm.
Sunday into a Friday is just like, as a creator, I'm so selfish for saying this, but it's just too squished.
Yeah.
I need time to digest.
Yeah. Yep.
I hate Sunday into Friday games because it feels like you put your preview out today, and I was like, "Fucking hell, Terry's moved on quick."
Yeah,
I'm still cleaning under the bed and finding Carlton pants there and stuff. Like, she's left, but I'm still finding little memories.
yeah, yeah. You got to
it's
find
very-
pockets
it's
of
very
time to create time for yourself in the week. It's just like, all right, get the preview out, and you just hope that the injury report doesn't totally conflict what you think is going to happen. But
Yeah,
nonetheless, boys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for
absolutely.
joining me tonight. Ladies and gents, thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for being patient with us, given we took a few weeks off, but we're back and we'll see you next week.
Back,
Hope your
baby.
team win. Go
See you
Footy.
then. Thanks, guys.